Hi everybody, it's Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and we are now starting our Facebook Live in our Spiritual Empowerment Community Facebook group. And I have not, excuse me, I have not been coughing or sneezing all day until right before I came on here. And it just goes to show that even when you're leading a Facebook Live, it can really activate a lot of healing energy. And so as the facilitator, that's what's happening with me. So I literally had a sneezing fit right before coming on here. So I'm a couple of minutes late. Welcome, everybody. This is day 2 of our 10-day spiritual empowerment activation. We have people who are joining live now. And I'm going to just pop one of these in my mouth. Hopefully that won't be too distracting. So today we are going to go into the first lesson of learning how to manage your energy. And as people are joining, go ahead and tell us where you're joining from. And I'll start off by making a couple of announcements, and then we'll jump into today's potent lesson. So first of all, congratulations. Congratulations to those of you who were winners in yesterday's drawing. We had 3 people who won a mini angel, guardian angel reading. So a little message from their angels. So that was really cool. And there was also a free gift posted in the group. And that free gift was a recent chakra balancing journey. That's what the word I was looking for. A chakra balancing journey that I did here in Tucson, Arizona. And so you all receive a copy of that for free. You know what, you guys? I have not coughed all day. This is so crazy, man. And that's what happens when you get on and do a live video. I sound a lot worse than I am. I feel totally fine. So crazy. Oh, well, I know you guys will forgive me. As usual, I'm keeping it real. Go ahead and tell us where you're joining from. Okay, so I just talked about the free gifts. So today there are some more free gifts. So if you're joining live, go ahead and stay all the way till the end for the free gifts. I will go ahead and tell you that there is a gift for everybody in the group, and it is an audio of a clearing meditation that it's an audio recorded clearing meditation that I created for, I actually originally created it for my psychic protection emergency kit. So people who were having like really serious issues. But you don't have to be having serious issues in order to benefit from that clearing recording. It's actually really great to listen to on a daily basis to help move out anything, any kind of energies whatsoever that are not serving you. And it's really powerful meditation. So normally only students in my Spiritual Empowerment Academy have access to it, but I am going to go ahead and give you guys the secret private link. And if you're watching the replay, by the way, if I'm mentioning any free gifts at any point, then check the description of the YouTube video. I will post a link in the description. That's where you'll find the free gift if you're watching the replay on YouTube. Okay. All right. So, hey, I know we have a lot of people joining us live. Go ahead and start commenting. Give me some hearts. Give me some love. Tell me where you're joining from. And now we're going to jump in. So this is actually a topic that we covered last month, actually, in Spiritual Empowerment Academy. But since this is a free class that we're doing right here, we're not going as deep, but just as potent and just as important. So I'm just pointing this out because if any of this is resonating with you, these are the kinds of things that we are doing in the paid program, but like on steroids, like way deeper, way more powerful. Just FYI, right? So today we're going to learn how to check your energy field for non-beneficial energy. Okay. So I use the term non-beneficial energy. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone else use that term, but that's what I use. It's kind of my generic catch-all term for any energy that's just simply not a match for you. It doesn't have to mean that it's demons or whatever. It could be just like old false limiting beliefs of yours that you've had since you were young. That's energy that's not serving you. That's non-beneficial energy. You don't really need that in your field anymore, right? It could be any number of things. And actually, let's dive into the different kinds of non-beneficial energy. So grab a pen and paper because you might want to take notes on this part. And then let me just check. I'm pretty sure my comments are working. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go over the types of non-beneficial energy. There's all the comments. I wasn't seeing them, so I had to just mess with my screen a little bit. Let's do shout outs, and then I'm going to go over some different types of non-beneficial energy just so you know what they are. And then I'm going to talk you through a really simple technique for checking your energy. Yep. So also, I want to just give you a little flash forward of what we're doing in future days in our journey. So today we're basically setting our baseline. I'm doing this first, like we're checking our energy and getting a baseline first before we learn all these other empowerment techniques, so that you know what your starting point is. So you have something to compare it to at the end. So that's why we're doing it this way. Okay. So you'll be getting a lot of good tools for grounding and clearing and so on as we go. If you so happen to discover that there is something in your field or in your life in general that's some not great energy, you'll be getting some tools in future days of this 10-day journey to clear it out and resolve it. So let's do shout outs. We have Amira is saying hello from Northwestern Michigan. Zahira from Renton, Washington. Melissa is saying hi from Lawrence, Kansas. Hello. Zahira is giving a bunch of hearts. Thank you, Zahira. Tina, Bates City, Missouri. And Nora. Hey, Nora. Nora says, hi, Maya. Live in Russellville, Arkansas. Visiting Tucson right now. Awesome. Very cool. Happy to have met you the other day. That's very cool. Okay. So hopefully you have a pen and paper. Okay. So I'm going to look at my notes just so I make sure I don't forget anything. I have to have notes. Okay. So there are a lot of different things that can be in your energy field that don't belong, that are non-beneficial energy, but I'm just going to keep the list pretty simple and straightforward. So the first possible kind of non-beneficial energy, I'm going to call it psychic debris. So we're going to start off with kind of the pretty common kinds of things. So if you're just kind of the normal average person, well, not that any of you are average, you're all special, but if you're just like the normal average person, you're not having like some intense psychic attack or anything like that, but you're just living life, it's going to be pretty likely that you're at least going to have the first two things on this list. And the first is what I call psychic debris. And it's basically random energy that's been splattered onto you from living your day. Okay. So like you go out, you're in traffic, somebody passes you in traffic, they're having a bad day, they flip you off, or they send some like yuck energy your way. Or let's say you go to like a grocery store or a Walmart or something like that, and you're walking around people that are maybe like all stressed out or unhappy or whatever. And so some of that stuff is going to get splattered onto you. It could also be that you are working at a workplace that maybe the energy isn't so great. Okay, so some of that might glom onto your energy field. Could have a disagreement with somebody where you're splattering energy back and forth to the other person. It's not really a psychic attack. It's more just kind of some energy splatter. Okay, so that's what I call psychic debris. And so we all tend to have some of that in our field. And that's why it's really important to clear yourself on a daily basis. It's kind of like you want to make sure you brush your teeth because you're going to get gunk on your teeth. After a couple days, you're going to get tartar, and I don't know, we won't talk about that. It's pretty gross if you don't brush your teeth, but you get the idea. It's not like something horrible is happening, but over time, if you don't attend to it, you're not going to feel so great. And I can tell you from my own experience, being a sensitive and being an empath, that if I don't clear my psychic debris, I start to feel anxiety and depression and overwhelm. And I think everyone would if they're living on this planet and not clearing their energy. That's just my observation and my opinion. So before we go on to number 2 on our list of non-beneficial energy, let's do some more shout outs. And we have Kelly from Olathe, Kansas. And Melissa says, that's why I got a different job. Yeah, it's really hard. If you are energetically sensitive, it is hard to be working or living in a circumstance where the energy is not great. That's really hard because you can clear yourself every single day. But if you're bombarded on a daily basis, it can be hard. It depends on your personality type. I'm an INFJ on the Myers-Briggs personality test. And for us, we can't, we just can't work at a negative workplace. So I feel ya. Some people can manage it for longer than others. Okay. Number 2 on our list would be also another very common thing that people deal with. And this is energy of your own. Energy of your own that's no longer a match, that's no longer serving you, so it's not beneficial. That would be like false limiting beliefs, like I mentioned before, beliefs, patterns, habits, ideas that you've learned throughout your life, maybe in childhood or in other times of your life. That's weird. It sounds like there's someone at my door. Anyway, so false limiting beliefs of your own. It was just my cat. I was like, what is that sound right behind my shoulder? Hello, kitty. Let's see, what else? Traumas, unresolved traumas stored within your energy field, stored within your body, stored within organs, stored within cells. That's all energy that's no longer serving you. And over time, if it's not released, then there can be problems that happen. There can be depression, anxiety, there can be illness or pain that can develop. So everybody has personal energy of their own. If you are going through a personal growth process, if you are someone who's into personal transformation and you're working on your healing work, then guaranteed as you're doing that work and excavating, there's going to be stuff that's ready to be released, that's ready to be moved out. Okay. So that's number 2 on the list. Number 3 and number 4 are the more intense things on the list. So you may or may not relate to these. And if you don't relate to them, just still take mental notes because sometimes stuff happens in the future and you'll be glad to know about it. If you can't relate to these, that's awesome. That means that you've avoided this sort of thing so far. But number 3 on the list is psychic attack, curse, black magic, that sort of thing. Those kinds of energies can be in a person's energy field. If you've been following my stuff for a while, you probably know that I do work in the field of psychic protection. This particular Facebook group is kind of a softer approach. We're just talking about empowering your life, becoming empowered as a person. But then my other free Facebook group, Psychic Protection Sanctuary, that's filled with people who are really struggling because they're actually under attack. So just so you know, if you need that, there's that group as well. So what is psychic attack? I could really do a whole video just on this, but basically in a nutshell, it's when someone or something is sending you negative energy. It can be intentional or unintentional. Intentional would be somebody is really mad, and let's say they have some knowledge about magical practices or energetic practices, spiritual practices, and they make a choice to misuse their spiritual knowledge or spiritual power in order to send manipulating or harmful energy to their target. And my observation has been that there are lots of people in the world, unfortunately, who feel justified in doing that sort of thing. Rather than having healthy communication, they send a psychic attack or a curse or black magic, etc. So that kind of thing does happen. And I know this because I've helped a lot of people through that kind of situation. So that's number 3 on the list. Basically, it's going to create distortions and energy imprints in the person's energy field. And that needs to be released so the person is no longer negatively impacted by that energy being sent. I do want to throw this in here just so we don't get into fear-based thinking. That if someone does send a psychic attack your way, let's say, the stronger your energy field is and the more you've practiced these empowerment techniques that we're going to learn, the less impact that person's directed at negative energy is going to have on you. In fact, it might barely affect you at all. It might just bounce right back to that person or just bounce off of you and get recycled out into the universe, right? So just because a person can send it doesn't mean that it's going to severely affect you. But if you're sensitive, if let's say you're an empath or you're an HSP, a highly sensitive person, and somebody sends some of that junk your way, let's say you're also depleted, you're not taking care of yourself the way that you should, so your energy field is weaker than it should be, you better bet that kind of thing is going to have a big effect on you. So I always say being informed and being empowered, those are your 2 most important things. Okay, so that's number 3 on the list: psychic attack, curse, black magic, that sort of thing. Number 4 is also kind of an intense thing. So if you haven't had any experience with this, that's good. But just hear me out. Number 4, non-beneficial energy in your field could be an entity, some kind of spiritual being that does not belong. Now, this is much more common than people realize. Some people think that it's just a really unusual thing that's only like extreme cases. But it's very, very common for people to have basically a Klingon, like something that has hopped onto them when they've been in an old house that was haunted, or, you don't have to just be in a haunted house. It could be anywhere. But I mentioned the house thing because there's a lot of people who've never had any kind of situation like this, and then they have the misfortune of moving into a house that has some negative spiritual activity, and then they're like, oh crap, what do? I don't know anything about this stuff because I didn't believe in it before. So in those cases, a lot of times people will have some kind of entity interference. I worked with a client who literally just was walking through the airport and something hopped from another person onto her. So sometimes it's just about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I want to be clear that people don't cause that to happen to them, unless there are cases where people are intentionally working with dark stuff and calling dark stuff in. But I don't ever attract any of those people to my Facebook or to my videos. So if you're watching this, I know you're not one of those people, right? So you are one of the people that, you've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that does happen. It's actually really common. Again, it's not something to be scared about. It's something to just know and be aware of, so that if you start to notice that something is off, then you'll know that there are things that you can do to take care of it. Okay, so we have our 4 things. The 2 that are more commonplace: psychic debris. Number 2, energy of your own, false limiting beliefs, unresolved traumas, etc., that are ready to be released. Number 3, psychic attack. Number 4, some kind of entity interference in your energy field. Okay. So those are the 4 different types of non-beneficial energy. And what questions do you have? In the homework today, in the Facebook post, the question that I posted was for you to think about whether there's any energy that's not beneficial that is in your energy field, or in your home, or in your workplace, or in any other aspect of your life, what that is and what that's about. Okay, so that's the question in the homework. We're not going to answer that right now, though, but I do want to open it up if you have questions, and then we're going to do a very simple and short technique for checking your energy field. And then we'll do the drawing, because then after that we have our free gifts. Let's see here. Question from Nora. Why do some people get jumped more than others by entities? That is a great question. I'm really glad that you asked it. So it's interesting because, like, for example, the other day I worked with a client who the client and their partner both moved into the same old house, but the partner was the one that got attacked and latched onto, whereas the client that I was speaking with has not been directly impacted by the entity that was in the house. And that is because, as you're pointing out, some people are more vulnerable than others. So there's actually a whole list, if you're interested in, there's like a whole, like a survey. I forget what chapter it is, maybe at the beginning of the book, maybe chapter 3. There's a table of contents, but darkness disguised as light. There's a whole survey, a huge long list of all these different things that could make a person more vulnerable to psychic attack and entity interference and that sort of thing. And I'll give you a few of the biggest ones. Number 1 is if a person has unresolved trauma. Now, that does not mean that it's their fault at all. It doesn't mean that they drew it to them or caused it or anything like that. But imagine that if someone has unresolved trauma, emotional trauma or physical trauma, it could be they had a horrible accident when they were younger, or a head injury, or an emotional trauma. There's all sorts of traumas, either in childhood or adulthood. Okay, so what happens is it will create damage in the person's energy field. It'll create damage where there might be a crack or a fissure in the energy field, or an area of the person's aura, which is their protective field, might be missing completely. So it's just this open void where it's easy for stuff to come in. Also, what I see is that when people have unresolved traumas, it creates what I call an imprint in their energy field. It's kind of like to me, it looks like a seal. It's like an imprint that says trauma. And so that lines that person up for people and entities to take advantage. So that could be pulling sociopaths and narcissists and other abusive kinds of people toward that person, because the abusers can feel that on a subtle level. They can feel that, what I see clairvoyantly as an imprint, they can feel that, so they're drawn to match up with that person. The same thing with entities. Entities are like, ooh, look, that person basically has a target sign on them. So that's why I feel like it's very important for people to not just focus on like, oh, I'm just going to clear an entity off of me. You know, I was at, I don't know, some place and something hopped on, I'm going to clear it off. Yeah, that's good to do, but it's equally important to look at what made the person vulnerable in the first place. So, because let's say they were there with 5 people and they're the only one that got impacted, there's a reason for that. Again, it's not their fault, but it is important to, this is one of the reasons why it's so important to be doing your personal transformation work, to be doing your healing work, to be working through your unresolved emotional material, your traumas, because then you'll find that as you move through life, you're less vulnerable to all sorts of negative things, from entities to abusive people. So that's one area, that's one rabbit hole. But and I'll mention another one. Another thing that can make people vulnerable is issues with addiction. And again, this is not in any way blaming or anything. Addiction is a very serious issue. However, what it does is when the person is engaging in the addictive behaviors, whether it's currently or in the past, it does cause damage to the person's energy field, and it makes it much easier for something to enter in, whether it's psychic debris or psychic attack or entity interference. Okay, so those are 2 main things. And Nora says, I will buy the book for sure. Yeah. Just a heads up, everybody, since I know we have all sorts of people in this Facebook group. This book is a bit intense, so only read it if you want. I mean, there's some scary stuff that I talk about in there. So do, just heads up. If you're in this group and you're looking for life empowerment and you're not really ready for that, like, I don't take that personally at all. I know when people are ready, they're ready. And if it's not right for you, then just listen to that. It's definitely not a lovely, happy kind of book, but it's important. Okay. So let's learn how to check our energy. Nora says, thank you for the answer. You're very welcome. So, assuming that there's no one driving or operating heavy equipment, I'm going to ask you all to go ahead and drop into a light meditation. Jennifer says the book is a brilliant read. Oh, thank you so much. And it was a labor of love, and I really wanted to get the information out there. So that's why I wrote it. Okay, so wherever you're at, I'd like for you to bring your feet onto the floor, uncross your legs, straighten your spine, and like stretch anything that feels uncomfortable. So in my Spiritual Empowerment Academy, we go much deeper into our meditations. So this is like just a real quick drop-in, dropping into an altered state and then popping right back out for what we're going to do right here. Excuse me. So let's start off by taking 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, relax your jaw, and blow out your mouth. And we're simply using that breath to quickly drop into a centered state of being. dropping into more calm. Your mind is calming down. Your eyes are closed. Your mind is clearing. Nice and peaceful. From your feet and from your root chakra, send tendrils of roots down into the earth, into the soil, into the ground, deeper and deeper, so that you are grounded and centered. And now with your eyes closed, focusing on your breath, with simply curiosity. No judgment, just curiosity. I want you to bring your awareness and explore different areas of your energy field. Perhaps starting above one side of your head and just noticing with your awareness, noticing what it feels like, and just bringing your awareness all around different areas of your energy field, whether it's out in your aura or in your body. Just follow your guidance as you explore and where to explore. And with that sense of curiosity, just notice. Just notice what's there. Taking special note of anything that perhaps doesn't belong. Again, anything that's psychic debris from your day, energy of your own that's ready to be released or transformed. Perhaps any energy of psychic attack, even somebody who might just feel jealous of you and they're sending some negative thoughts your way. Maybe you're noticing that. Maybe you can feel that in your field. And maybe you can discern who it's coming from. Again, without judgment, but just curiosity and just noticing, observing. And then noticing if there's any spiritual being, any entity that doesn't belong. So you might feel your guardian angel or a beneficial guide. Those are beings that do belong, that are beneficial. So you want to notice if there's anything that doesn't belong, that shouldn't be there. So we will be learning various techniques for clearing and grounding throughout this journey. But right now we're going to do a very quick and simple clearing, just so that you don't have to wait, in case you did notice something that's not beneficial in your energy field. So we're simply going to use color. We're going to use colored light. I'm going to suggest golden light, but I want you to honor whatever color of light comes to your mind, comes to your imagination. And I want you to visualize and intend and feel and know that that color of light is flowing from above down, or perhaps it's flowing differently. It's all good, but it's flowing into your auric field and into your body, and it's washing your field. It's washing through you. And just notice as every cell of your body is filled and washed through with this light energy. Your chakras are being washed with this light. All the layers of your auric field are being washed with this light. And I want you to take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each breath, that color of light is washing through you even more thoroughly. And with ease and grace, anything that doesn't serve you in your energy field is being gently washed away. Anything that you are ready to release, you can release it now. And if it's not the right time, you can release it later. Take another final big deep breath and exhale. All right. So that was a real quickie version of a technique for checking your own energy field. That's super important, so you know what's going on there. I really feel like it's important to not have to depend on an energy healer for your daily maintenance. Imagine if you had to go to the dentist every day and have them brush your teeth. You do need the dentist, but it's definitely better that you know how to brush your teeth and you have the tools and the know-how so you can do the daily care, and then you go to the dentist like twice a year or whatever to have them get the more difficult stuff. Same thing here. It's really important for you to be able to check your energy field on a daily basis so that you can keep everything from getting glommed up, right? You want to avoid getting into those feelings of overwhelm, depression, anxiety that come with some of these things being in your field when they should really be moved out and released. So let's go ahead and do our free gifts because we're at the end of our lesson now. Okay. So if you want to be added to the drawing, I'd like for you to type me or yes or I'm here or whatever. Go ahead and let me know that you're here. I'm doing it this way because in my last 2 Facebook challenges, I would go back and I would be calling people's names who were here at the beginning, but they had dropped off or maybe they were busy or whatever. And so it would be like, Bueller, are you here? And we wasted a lot of time doing that. So I'm going to write down names as we go. Jessica Donaldson, Megan. I haven't said what the gift is yet, but let me write these names down. Kelly. Oh, we got a lot of people. Nora. Yes. Zahira. Tina. Jennifer. Yay. Okay. Nora again. Melissa. We got anybody else? Jennifer? Yeah. Oh, we have 2 Melissas. Melissa W. Melissa G. Amira. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, I'm waiting to see if there's anybody else. The drawing, I'm going to draw 3 people who are going to get a quickie reading. Oh, we've got Kelly. Do we have more than one Kelly? Let me just check. Because I already have a Kelly written down. Oh, yeah. Kelly, I've already got you. Cool. So I'm going to draw 3 people for a yes and no question. So most of the readings that I do in these Facebook challenge events are like really tiny. It's like a little tiny gift. So it's not a big long reading. It's a quick one, just like the ones yesterday were like 1 or 2 sentences. The people who won those, I already sent those out. Today's gift, today's drawing is for a yes and no question. For example, an example of a yes and no question would be like, I'm trying to decide between these 3 jobs. Should I do job A, job B, or job C? Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Okay. Or am I going the right direction with my relationship with my partner? Is this the person I'm supposed to be with? Oh, that's a big juicy question. We probably should do more than yes or no on that one. So basically it's to ask if you're trying to make a decision between a few choices, or if you want to know if you're going the right direction. It can even be like mundane things like, is this the right insurance company, or is this the right insurance company for my auto coverage? Like, I mean, anything from huge life choices to tiny things. Excuse me. I thought the cough was gone. Okay, so let me check who our winners are, and then we'll be done. Tomorrow we're meeting at the same time. Okay. I'm picking our winners right now. Okay. So we have Kelly, we have Nora, and we have Melissa. Make sure I have your last names. I will post it also in the Facebook group in case your phone was cutting out. R-E-L. E-L. Okay. Okay. So I will be in touch to do those readings for you all. Join me tomorrow. Hopefully I will not be coughing anymore, because it's like, you know how it is if you've had some junk and you're like, you feel like it's done, and then at some random time you start coughing again. Because I feel like it's done. Hopefully no more coughing tomorrow. So join me tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to be on at 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Arizona time in my time zone. And also just a reminder that on Thursday, the property managers of the place that I'm staying at temporarily, they are coming by sometime between 9 and 5. And I'm supposed to be doing my Facebook Live at 4 p.m. with you guys in my time. So we'll see what happens on that day. Hopefully they come early and it's not a problem. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that if for some reason I'm not on, then hang in. I will be there. And I'll also post an update if something weird happens and I can't jump on at the scheduled time on Thursday. Then I will let you know. Wednesday, everything's good to go. So for tomorrow, I'll see you same time as usual. And we will go into the next step of learning how to manage your energy. This is so important for everybody. If you are living on this planet, you need to know how to manage your energy. If you are interested in working with me more deeply, I invite you to go to my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and under the events tab, I want you to look at the 12-month Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And that is the program where we go way deeper into all of this stuff. So I invite you to take a look at that. And if you feel drawn, then fill out the application. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for some more cool free stuff. Sending you all my love. Bye-bye.